and will receive personal attention from people you know. Membership is open to anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, and Shelby County. We are conveniently located in Taylorville, Hillsboro, Litchfield, and Pana. You can also visit us online at www.tccu.org. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
Seeing is believing, and your new customers can now hear and see your message. Deliver your message on our 6 Miller Media Group radio stations. And now, potential customers will see your message on our new 36 by 72-inch two-sided electronic sign installed in front of our Taylorville studios on Illinois Route 29. You have the opportunity of having your message seen by over 11,200 drivers a day. Contact your Miller Media Group account manager today and deliver your message through your potential customers' ears and eyes.
Perry Stanfa here, owner of Central Illinois Truck Service in Greenville. If you're a trucker, you know you gotta keep your rig on the road. Let our certified techs using the latest software keep you on the road. Click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and let us work for you.
SIU Family Medicine wants the best health for you and your family. Be a champion. Protect your loved ones. The SIU Center for Family Medicine of Taylorville is accepting new patients. Click their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com to schedule your appointment.
Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. And now in this segment, joining me is Taylor Pope. She is the 4-H program coordinator and youth development coordinator with the U of I Extension. And this segment of the WTIM morning show is brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, as well as Landmark of Taylorville first and foremost. Taylor, how are you this morning?
Good. Cold. I'm ready for this cold weather to go away, but
it would make your programs just a little bit more bright. And right now, it's just nice to see the sun shining. But yes, the cold is hard to keep with. And at this point now in the winter season, you're planning around that, of course, and so things are indoors. We've got all types of activities, but it sounds like you're ready to get outside and get some of those classes maybe going outside.
Oh yeah,
and things
yeah.
like
I'm ready for the snow to go away, and I'm ready. I mean, I've already started planning for fair, so come back January, fair began. So
already working on the fair, so you're working well in advance at this point. And Taylor, you've been doing this now for nearly a year, so you're getting your stride and you're getting yourself figured out as well. And obviously, I am just getting myself started here. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for being so prepared. And you have got so much going on. So I definitely want to start with this right here, the 4-H community service and this drive here. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I've kind of talked about this before, but this was scheduled for January 6th, but we got all that snow over that weekend, and so we had to reschedule it. So we rescheduled it for January 22nd. So if anybody did happen to miss the opportunity to sign up for this workshop, it is open again. We are still accepting donations. January 21st is the last day to donate, and then January 22nd or January 21st is also the last day to sign up. It is January 22nd from 5 to 7. And this is something that the youth leadership team is kind of putting on. So this is what they wanted to do for their community service project. So that's what this is.
Okay. And for my knowledge and my understanding, the youth leadership team, is that something that you're spearheading as well?
Yeah. So, we kind of have like all sorts of different like 4-H clubs, like everyone has their own. And then even though I'm like the program coordinator, it still means that I get to have kind of my own little club.
Okay.
So kids all throughout the county, anybody can join it. They'll join the youth leadership team and then they get to be with me.
Okay. Well, very cool. So this is something that you're helping them get that valuable experience as well. So yes, you are spearheading it. Yes, you are leading it, but you're hoping that those kids, they're also kind of leading each other as well. So now you as a younger person are trying to also say, hey, younger folks, get yourself some leadership experience. So very cool. I just was a little interested in that. And we're making tie blankets.
Yes.
And I think everybody knows what those are, but maybe we don't know how much work goes into those. And so
they do take a while. I did these a couple weeks ago, and I mean, I think we made 15 blankets in 2 hours. By the time you go through, you cut the material to the size that you need. You cut the corners out, you cut all where you're going to be tying on the sides. And then by the time you get done tying that, it helps when you have like 3 or 4 people to a blanket. But
Yeah.
otherwise, if you got one person on a blanket, it might take you 30 minutes
Yeah.
to finish tying an entire blanket.
Can take you a little while. So with
Yes.
2 hours of the event, maybe if you're real quick, maybe we could get 4, but that would be the max. Is there a race that'll happen? Maybe we'll see if they can figure that out. So that is going to be happening on January 22nd, rescheduled after that snowstorm from 5 to 7 p.m. And that will be to make tie blankets, some community service going on there. And next up on the list, macrame keychains for beginners. And just lead me through it. Just tell me what you know.
Yeah,
about this
so macrame is kind of an art, honestly.
Mhm.
It's very relaxing. It's very enjoyable. But I know that there's been some interest on it, so I figured why not start with just something easy, get their feet wet a little bit. Just learning the beginning part of it. And then also this is something that they can use whenever it comes to fair time. If they want to enter a project with something macrame, they can. They're going to get a couple different options. This workshop is January 30th from 5:30 to 6:30. And the cost for this one is only $3, just kind of to cover the material that we purchased. Yeah.
What is the difference between macrame and maybe sewing or crocheting? What's the difference, and what are people going to learn?
So crochet is more of, you might use a tool. Macrame is just kind of more of just your hands. Kind of a little bit similar to like the friendship bracelets that kids used to make as like when we were younger.
Yeah.
It's just very similar. It's just a little bit thicker. It's more of a cord,
Okay.
kind of like a shoelace almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're putting keychains together for beginners. And so this is all, well, I shouldn't say all, and maybe I should ask more so than assume. This is all tailored towards beginners
Yes.
in this regard. And so there is no real barrier of entry. We're learning together, and
Yep.
we're learning through Taylor Pope, and she's joining us here. She is the 4-H program coordinator and youth development coordinator for the U of I extension. So that rounds out January for you. You've got to start a rescheduled event for tie blankets, and we've got macrame keychains for beginners. And we were talking about
I will say that this workshop, I have 6 kids signed up, and I
Okay.
have it capped at 8. So there are two
okay.
openings still available if anybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. But
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome too, that you've already got that support. You've already drummed it up, and then now you just need
Yeah.
those 2 slots filled. And so plenty of time still to get after you for that. But is that something that they can even run up to the day before? I know you wouldn't prefer that. But
January 29th is the last day to sign up. But because it has been kind of filling up so fast, I would suggest signing up sooner to save yourself a spot,
Yeah.
because I won't allow more than 8 just because it's just me doing it. So
And is that regularly the case for you? Is it just you normally leading these programs, or
it just kind of depends. Sometimes I'll find like there'll be like some later things here that normally like I'll find other people that might have more knowledge on something that they would be able to share and help the kids more than what I would be able to. So
as a personal question, do you find that their interest in learning also keeps you that much more interested in learning?
absolutely. I mean, there's like a lot of times I like my youth leadership team. I'll like bring up these ideas to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that sounds really great." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna make that happen. If you're
Mhm.
interested, then I'm interested." So
Well, that's very cool. That gives you some extra wind
Yes.
also as well with that. And I said that we were rounding out January already, but I forgot about that one day at the end of the calendar, and it is winter. And it's this is now a time to enjoy winter just a little bit more. Could we talk just a minute about this 4-H winter photo contest that you've got here for me?
yeah, so this is for 4-H youth only. But the deadline for this is January 31st. This is kind of a unit-wide winter photo contest that we do. The kids can submit a picture, whatever it is, whether it's just the snow. I mean, we've had plenty of snow recently, so
Mhm.
hopefully there's lots of snow pictures. But Christmas, opening gifts, whatever you want to submit, you can submit. But this will go to our McCupin 4-H coordinator, and she's kind of like, she'll take all the pictures. We'll do like a vote with some people, have some people vote which one are their favorites, and then we'll share on our Facebook page of who won.
And for this type of contest, is this also something that they could hold on to and maybe use as a project later down the road when everybody's kind of showcasing those projects, whether that's at the fair or whatever the case may be. Is that's something they could hold
Yeah,
on to?
absolutely. I mean, because the 4-H New Year kind of starts on October 1st, from October 1st all the way up until September. Well, I mean, the fair's in July. So up until July 14th, I think, is when fair would start this year. Anything that's done in that time, they can bring to the 4-H fair that year.
Okay. Yes. See, I didn't know exactly how that worked. As if it had to be something that was, oh, you only got 2 months and a limiter, things like that. But so you get the full year if you would like to use it. And something that I didn't know about 4-H is that I know you work with youth in particular, but I've seen folks as old as 20 years old still in FFA, or 19 years old, and they were there at the fair, maybe just presenting their last year's projects and things like that. But I thought there was like a hard cutoff, and it was kind of like I know there. Could you explain that a little bit for me?
There is. They can be 4-H is done at the age of 18. Now, that is your 4-H age. So our 4-H age is what age you are on September 1st. So as of September 1st, 2024, if you were 18 on, August 31st, then you're going to you'll be in the 4-H year. Now, if you turn 19 on August 31st, then you would be done. So they still get to until 19. Yeah.
Okay. So that was just interesting to me. And I figured there was probably a cutoff, but just didn't know. I was not particularly involved with it. But when I see this and I see all the things that are going on with it and how much the kids enjoyed it, whether it was the animal and the livestock showing, whether it was baked goods, whatever the case might have been, that was my first real exposure was this last year to it. And they just all smiles and just a whole lot of fun and a healthy competition. Yes. How much fun is that for you also to kind of not maybe poke the bear, but also just kind of breed that healthy competition and let them know that, hey, we're working together, but also kind of working for ourselves too.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I love watching them bring in some of those. Some of the kids are so creative too. We have some boys that they do like the metal projects, and when they bring them in, I'm like, oh my gosh, you did that?
Yeah.
I could not do that.
Yeah.
That takes talent.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, Taylor, thank you so much for joining us here in this first segment. We'll come back around with Taylor when we return here on the WTIM Morning Show to talk more about maybe not only wrapping up the month of January, but getting into some of these other winter months and trying to keep it fun and fresh for not only 4-H, but youth in the area. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. This segment has been brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Right across the board with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. March corn down 4 3/4, 474. May corn down 5 1/2, 482 1/2. July corn 485 1/2, down 6 1/2. March beans down 16 1/2, 1026 1/4. May beans down 18, 1037 1/4. July beans 1048 down 18. March Chicago wheat 542 1/2, down 4 1/2. May wheat down 4 3/4, 554. March bean meal, $297.50 down $4.50. March bean oil down $1.32, $44.95. Livestock market, January feeders $270.27 down $2.95. February live cattle down $217, $196.35. And February lean hogs $82.52 down 60 cents. Energy market, February crude oil $79.25 down 79 cents. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
I'm Jeff Grimmett, Assistant Vice President at People's Bank and Trust in Taylorville. People's Bank and Trust is proud to sponsor Taylorville Junior High School Students of the Month on all of the WTIM platforms.
Hello, I'm Leah Johnson, the 7th grade student of the month. My parents are Lou and Tracy Johnson. The school subjects I enjoy are math and ELA. Math has always been my favorite because I love difficult problems. This year at TJHS, I am involved with soccer and school track, and I also office run in 9th hour at school. After high school, I'm considering being a doctor as a career because I would love to have a job where I get to help people every day. A fun fact I would like you to know about me is I love animals and have 2 pets, Ivy and Sophie.
Congratulations to these students on this honor from People's Bank and Trust. We put people first every day at People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for a local, full or part-time job in Central Illinois, there's an easy place to go to find current job openings. It's IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. You'll find jobs available near you. And the best part is that it's free for candidates to access 24/7. If you want a local job when you don't have to spend a lot of money on gas to get to, then you want access to IllinoisJobPost.com to check out current local job openings. That web address again is IllinoisJobPost.com. Another service from your friends at the Miller Media Group.
Matt Corso here, proud to now be a part of the Kaufman Realty and Auction team right here in Taylorville. Let my over 20 years of real estate and auction experience work for you. Click my icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM AM, FM, and online on the WTIM mobile app and Amazon Alexa is your ag information station. With over 8 hours a day of agriculture programming and our own local farm broadcaster, tune into WTIM, your ag information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
And we're back on WTIM, your information station, with our second segment of the WTIM Morning Show with Taylor Pope. She is Youth Development and 4-H Program Coordinator for the U of I Extension. And we have been talking a little bit about January, what January has in store for Taylor and some classes that are being hosted. And, well, I think we maybe look to February now, because that'll be here in a moment's notice, especially before we have you in next time. What is going on in February for you and folks?
4-H showbook cover design contest. That's right. I already talked about fair a second ago. Of course, that means I'm working on the showbook right now. That's got to go out. So the showbook cover design contest is kind of the 4-H youth. They can submit a photo that has potential of going on the front cover. There'll be a vote, and whichever one kind of gets the most votes will get to be the front cover of the 4-H showbook this year.
That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
And to see your picture or to see your example up there. And so that changes every single year. And that's based on that's basically when fair season and the show season starts to come about. Okay.
Yeah. The deadline for this one is February 7th. And all you have to do is submit the picture to myself and send it to my email, or you can mail it to the office, or you can drop it off by the Christian County Extension office.
And it seems like the requirements are pretty loose then for this. So it's essentially just any fair or project or anything that involves 4-H, it might just go. So it might even be that winter photo that maybe, I don't know. Maybe,
if you draw it, it'll be like you draw this one.
Really?
So yes, they get to use their artistic abilities.
Wow, something I don't possess. So that is awfully cool. And so in that regard there, that is at the beginning of February, but there's more to get to. And just a few days after that, even, we have got a way for you to learn public speaking, it maybe looks like.
Yes, this is called Speak Up, Empowering Youth to Own the Stage. Our CED educator, Valerie, is actually leading this for me. The youth are going to learn to express themselves confidently, connect with their audiences, and deliver powerful speeches. Valerie is a fantastic public speaker, and if there is anyone that will be extremely useful to learn from, it's Valerie.
And something that I probably could have benefited from right there. And really, you get to hide behind a microphone here, but when you're up on the stage, that's two very different things. Is that something or a similar course that you ever took? Because it sure seems like that would be something.
No, I actually didn't take public speaking whenever I was younger.
Well, then some people are just blessed with that ability then. So on February 10th from 5:30 to 7, Valerie will be leading Speak Up, Empowering Youth to Own the Stage. And then I'm looking just a week after that. So much going on in the winter. This really almost surprises me, because when I thought of 4-H, you think kind of summer and you think the shows and you think that, but you're keeping it very fresh and you're keeping it busy right here. Can you tell me a little bit about this date on February 17th?
Yeah, so this is actually a showmanship clinic dedicated to my rabbit families, my poultry families, if they're wanting to learn, grow their knowledge on rabbits and poultry, work on their presentation and handling skills. They're going to go in and learn more grooming, showing, how to effectively communicate with the judges, and just gain a really good experience from this for dedicating time to the 4-H shows, something to practice on before show gets here.
And practice indeed. I learned a lot about just the little almost stick looking things to lead the pigs around, or what are some of those things? Because I'm almost interested just as much as maybe others is what are some of those things that you will be teaching in terms of skills?
So this one's just dedicated to rabbit and poultry. So
Okay.
some of them may be just about like your handling. There are proper ways. Like we have showmanship, which is a class, like when you get done showing all of your animals, depending on your age, depends on what category you're able to show in. It just kind of shows your knowledge, if you're feeding them correct amounts, what you're feeding them, making sure you have proper handling, things like that these judges are looking for these techniques, just to show that, you're growing your skills as you get older.
It goes so much more in depth, really, than you realize. Again, I was very appreciative of how much I was able to learn from the show that I got to be a part of, and really also just sitting here with you for the first time today, and just learning that it goes a lot deeper than that surface level. Well, Taylor, we are out of time, but I want to thank you so much for being here with me and talking a little bit about you and your programs. Again, Taylor Pope, 4-H Program Coordinator and Youth Development Coordinator with the U of I Extension here on WTIM, your information station, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
Announcing the appointment a short time ago, the vacancy opens up as Rubio is President-elect Trump's nominee for Secretary of State. For Israel and Hamas, the road to a Gaza ceasefire has a lot of twists and turns. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu now says his cabinet will not consider the ceasefire hostage release agreement until Hamas stops trying to win more concessions and honors all aspects of the deal. Trump Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi back before the Senate Judiciary Committee today, day 2 of her confirmation hearing.
I will fight every day to restore confidence and integrity to the Department of Justice and each of its components. The partisanship, the weaponization will be gone. America will have one tier of justice for all.
President Biden delivered several warnings last night during his farewell address to the nation.
The president mostly used his Oval Office speech to warn Americans about the accumulation of power and wealth among a small few.
An oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence.
He sounded the alarm about misinformation.
Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies.
Mr. Biden also called for a constitutional amendment to end immunity for sitting presidents.
No president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office.
He urged the American people to be keepers of the flame and uphold democracy. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Americans stepped up their spending at retail stores and restaurants last month. Retail sales rising 0.4 in December from the previous month. On Wall Street, the Dow down 43 points. The Nasdaq is off 17. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Making America great again starts with making America healthy again. You know, I lost over 50 pounds on the PhD weight loss and nutrition program. Nearly 3 years later, I've kept it off. You know why? Because I trusted Dr. Ashley Lucas and the terrific team at PhD Weight Loss. They've been making America healthy for over 10 years. Millions are being spent on weight loss injections that have harmful side effects and lifelong dependency. Do what I did. Take the natural approach that isn't connected to Big Pharma's bottom line. Based on science and nutrition, a proven roadmap that has helped over 8,000 clients lose weight and keep it off. You'll learn how to quiet the cravings, finally release that unhealthy belly fat. You won't be hungry, and you're never going to be taking a medication. How many pounds do you want to lose in 2025? PhD Weight Loss, leading the charge to make America healthy again. Text the word healthy to 717767. Just text the word healthy to 717767 or visit myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com.
South Korea's impeached president has been taken to a detention center near Seoul over his imposition of martial law last month. Meanwhile, a court has taken up his case. The BBC's Shaima Halil in Seoul.
A group of Yoon Sung-yeol supporters held banners and chanted "Stop the impeachment" outside South Korea's constitutional court as the second hearing began. His legal team said they will present the argument of why the suspended president declared martial law. while a representative of the National Assembly's impeachment prosecution team said that martial law would have dragged the country back to the days of military dictatorship. Mr. Yoon, the first sitting South Korean president to be arrested, is reported to have spent the night in a solitary cell.
Executives at a leading Japanese bank have apologized, and they've taken pay cuts after police arrested an employee who allegedly stole about $9 million worth of valuables from customers' safe deposit boxes. The thefts, spanning 4 years, were uncovered last October. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Arkansas governor seems to have an issue with higher learning.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders says college professors should be fired if they're indoctrinating students. She made the proposal during her State of the State address before a joint meeting of the House and Senate. Sanders did not elaborate on how the state would enforce such a restriction or what would be considered indoctrination. She mentioned it as a part of an effort to improve higher education in the state. Her comments echoed rhetoric by her former boss, President-elect Donald Trump, and other Republicans. Sanders served as White House press secretary for part of Trump's first term. John Scott reporting.
The fierce winds are subsiding, allowing firefighters to make progress toward containing 2 massive Los Angeles wildfires. However, very dry conditions persist and the winds are not totally gone. The enormous Palisades fire now just over 20% contained, while containment of the Eaton fire is approaching 50%. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Cold weather got your joints and muscles tense? Let Southern Ledge Pools and Patios in Taylorville help you find relief this winter. Stop in today and let our experienced staff show you our new Aspen hot tubs. Experience superior quality, innovative features, and a spa experience like no other. Whether you're unwinding after a long day or easing muscle tension, Aspen hot tubs are built for comfort and relaxation. Visit Southern Ledge Pools and Patios today. Let us help you find the perfect hot tub for your home and start relaxing in style.
This is Staff Meteorologist Paul Trombley with your regional radio forecast. Daytime highs approaching 35 today. Under mainly sunny skies, westerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, lows level off around 24. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 40. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Currently 32.
We have got a lot to learn this morning. The pieces of the 45Z puzzle seem to be falling into place. We're getting a good look at what the program might look like. We'll get those details, and we are going to check in on the priorities of the House, including perspective on what's expected in the One Big Beautiful Bill.
Live from One Big Beautiful Morning via Farm Journal broadcast, this is AgriTalk. This morning we'll begin with a conversation with Mitchell Hora from Continuum. Then it's Representative Ashley Hinson, and later Ranking House Ag Committee member Angie Craig. I'm handsome newsman Davis Michelson, and now say hello to the host of AgriTalk, Chip Flory.
All right, Davis. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got Mitchell on, and Mitchell's already had a busy morning. He's had a meeting on for the subscribers and the clients of Continuum Ag. He's already had a meeting this morning talking about what we now know about the 45Z and the GREEP model and the carbon calculation and what it all might mean for the industry as we look forward. So we're going to tap into what Mitchell talked about with his clients this morning and some of the questions that they had for Mitchell. So we'll get to the bottom of that. And then, holy smokes, we've got Representative Ashley Hinson. That's my representative in the U.S. House. We've got Ashley on today. Looking forward to getting some perspective on what she sees as the priorities for the House. And then Representative Angie Craig, ranking member of the House Ag Committee. How much work needs to be done on the Farm Bill from what was passed by the committee last year? It is Representative Craig's first stint as the ranking member on the House Ag Committee. We'll see what kind of priorities she's got for that committee going forward. Grains are under pressure, dude. So are
Yeah,
the meats.
Kind of saw that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a very much a defensive day. We've got Brad. I just looked at my texts, and I'm starting to get texts already. Okay, we've got Brian Grady coming up at the bottom of the hour. He will fill us in on what is going